video, you're going to see a very straightforward installation of the new PPF line from Knifeless Tech Systems. Super exciting because basically what it does is it cuts paint protection film really cleanly and precisely. Traditionally with paint protection film, you're going to have to get a plotter and put it on the car, no cutting involved, or you're going to have to use a knife and cut the PPF. And PPF film is traditionally very difficult to cut on because it's thick and kind of gooey, and the chances of cutting the car are very high. So Knifeless Tech Systems has developed a new product that cuts the PPF really cleanly. So instead of getting those templates or using a plotter, you can literally just take a piece, put it on. So Phil, main trainer for Knifeless Tech Systems, is going to put a piece on here using this new line. It's clear, and then you have to put a tape on top. But for me, what this does is it totally opens the door to making higher quality paint protection film easier without having to do plotters or actually using your knife on the car. Super exciting. Let's get to it.
Before applying the PPF line, you want to make sure that this surface is extra clean. Again, standard cleaning for paint protection film. So again, if you need a clay bar, you definitely want to clay bar the surface and then degrease it. And again, just get it in the optimal condition. So nothing different than standard cleaning for PPF film. But again, you want to clean it before you apply the PPF line. So to apply the PPF line, you want to make sure you line up the edge to the edge of the hood in this case. So again, you don't want to make sure that the line is lining up with the edge of the hood. You want to create a slight gap. So if you make the edge of the PPF line line up with the edge of the hood, then the material will cut about 1/8 of an inch away from the edge of the hood. So again, with all paint protection film, you never want to cut to the edge. You want to cut it back a little bit. So this is just really good for long-term durability. And here's a good close-up of it. So because again, the line that is in the PPF line is a wire, and that is perfectly symmetrical left and right. So again, by lining up this edge to the edge of the hood, it's going to have a perfect symmetrical cut all the way around. So again, really taking your time to set that up symmetrically. So again, you want it to look like it was cut on a plotter, so make sure that you really take your time on here and don't rush it. And what's great about PPF line is you don't need a knife to cut it, you just snap it. Then for the piece, the horizontal piece that's going across, you want to make a measurement. In this case, Phil's using the width of the pen to do it. So again, what's great about it here is not a pre-cut plotted piece. You can make it as wide or as short as you want. So again, the trick is to hold it on the roll and then pull it directly across and line it up with the watermark there. So again, he lines it up with the finger. Then you always want to go back and seal it onto the surface with your finger. So again, really make sure you go left to right there, get it 100% on the surface. Once you got it on the surface, then you have to take a couple extra steps before you put on the paint protection film. And that is, you want to release the wire before you apply it. And this is just good because you want to make sure that the string is released before you apply the film and not after, in case it breaks and you have to redo it. So again, you just want to release the wire and keep the tape on, and then just hold it onto the surface. So notice how he's keeping the tape on and locks it in position there. So again, this had 4 edges. You want to make sure you release all 4 edges and then tack it on. Once that is good to go, and you know you can pull the wire easily from safely on all 4 edges, you want to apply the PPF film in its standard procedures. There's nothing you have to do any different with PPF line than if this was a plotted piece or if you're cutting this by a knife. So again, just release the liner, spray it with soap and water, kind of tack it in place, wet the adhesive side so when it folds on itself there's not an issue of it not coming apart, and then spray it as you release the liner. And again, this is just a standard soap and water solution or whatever solution that you want to use as an installer. You spray it, make sure it's wet 100% on all sides for high quality on the install. Spray the surface a little bit, so again, make sure everything is nice and wet. Really good quality for the standard install there. And in this case, it's a very easy piece to install, but again, is this a pre-cut piece? No. This is just a piece that's wide enough left to right, top to bottom. So again, there's no stress about lining anything up. It just makes it very, very easy to set up and install. But the biggest thing is no template was needed, and you don't need a plotter. You simply just cut a piece by hand that's big enough and then put it on and then install. So again, he's just spraying the surface so it doesn't scratch as he installs. And then it just applies the film with nice firm squeegee strokes left to right, top and bottom. So again, nothing different in terms of the application of the material on top of the PPF line, so just apply it as normal. Then the biggest thing you need to consider before you go on to the next step is you have to dry the surface, preferably use a microfiber towel, and then you have to put on the white tape, and you're putting on the white tape directly over the PPF line. So if you skip this step, you might not get as clean cut as you normally would. So again, this tape over top really ensures a razor-like cut. So again, it doesn't have to be exactly centered, it just has to be exactly over the wire. So it could be a little left to right, but as long as it covers the wire perfectly, that's all that counts. Pull the wire in one stroke left to right. So again, one smooth movement, try to keep it low and flat. and then you pull half the excess film away, but don't pull everything out. Very important not to do that. You just want to pull that top section out, but the rest of the PPF film from knifeless tape is underneath the film itself. So as you pull the tape from underneath the PPF, you want to actually spray it with a light alcohol solution, and you want to pull towards the section that's staying on the body. So notice that he's pulling towards and it lifts the lip, and then you spray as you pull. Very important, because then it gets down without any kind of bubbles, so it looks professional. So again, pull away or pull into the section you want to keep on, spray, then squeegee. Extremely important. Now you want to dry it again, because you want to cut off the section that is to the front in this case. So again, he's drying it with a microfiber towel, then comes back again with this tape. So this tape comes with all rolls of PPF. So he just applies it directly over top. Again, he's pulling from the roll, and he wants to make sure that starting point is flat. You don't want to have any kind of wrinkles there. But again, this is just going over the tape. This doesn't have to be perfect symmetrical, it just has to cover the wire. So again, little less pressure here in applying the tape. But again, you really want to make sure that you're applying it dry, otherwise it won't stick properly. So then once he gets to that point there, kind of comes back to the other side, and again, simply releases the string. Just pulls, it goes right through, super clean. Again, try to keep it flat, pull in one fluid movement, keep it perpendicular to the line. Once he releases there, he can remove the excess PPF film that's at the front. But again, don't remove the piece that's underneath the actual PPF that's on the hood. So once he gets that done, he's going to pull the tape across, and again, this is still just on the top of the PPF, not under it. And once he's done, he pulls the piece that's underneath away into the body, and then sprays it with alcohol as he goes. And you can actually even use a pressurized sprayer there, just so you don't have to keep on squeezing. But again, just sprays it underneath there so it's nice and wet with that light alcohol solution, and then he simply squeegees it down on the surface as standard procedure. So again, that's the exact setup of how you want to use PPF film on those edges. And if you do it properly, look how easily and quickly you can do it. And again, no need for a plotter. Super good stuff right there. So again, just finishes off the edges, and again, because it's flat, no need to wrap around or heat. And then he simply wipes it down for, again, perfect finish. So for me, this is just the basic techniques for how to apply PPF film. But if you follow these steps, it really opens the door to the exact cutting here. It looks like it was cut on a plotter, and you can cut any shape. So this really frees you up from not having to use templates or a plotter. And look at that perfect symmetry at the front, so it looks super professional, nice and easy and quick. And then once you're done, it protects the vehicle from chips, sun damage, all that kind of good stuff. So again, PPF, very straightforward, simple setup there. So again, if you follow these procedures, you're going to get high quality, and so we're going to really open the door to easier installations, quicker installations, and higher profit points.